Today we have so much to talk about. We've got an article in a business periodical that I think should be mandatory reading for all cruise line CEOs and the management teams, as well as trickling down to onboard management. We're also going to talk about a country that is no longer requiring visas of visitors from North America, which I think this announcement bodes well for cruising in that region for the foreseeable future. We've got Princess Onboard updates, information for those of you who are going on an Alaskan cruise in April, something that might be helpful for you. And we're also going to talk a little bit more, a perspective about crew appreciation / gratuities on cruise lines, and end talking about dining on board cruises, and something I think we need to keep in mind as we get so busy planning for our cruise. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Friday, it's January 12th of 2024, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, we would love to have you. So will you please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you come here often and listen to our videos and haven't subscribed, it really makes a difference. So if you wouldn't mind, we would appreciate it. Then also, if you appreciate the updates and everything that we share here, would you please give this video a thumbs up? Believe it or not, makes a huge difference, so thank you. Let's start at the top. I want to remind you all that we are going to do our live this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern. I've got a topic I'm going to share with you at the end, so we're going to talk about that. We're talking about our upcoming Sun Princess cruise. A lot going on in cruising right now, so we have plenty to talk about, so we will see you there. Now, let's start at the very top talking about crew appreciation. Now, I have long suspected what I'm going to tell you today, really ever since I started cruising. The very first cruise that Gordon and I went on was in 2014. I know there are so many of you that have been cruising so much longer here, so I'm extra glad to have you with us, as well as everyone who hasn't gone yet, and anyone in between. Anyway, so we went on our first cruise, and I remember that the concept of paying the gratuity the way that we do, the added set amount added to your stateroom charges every day, was really new to me. And even at that time, I thought to myself, why don't they just increase the amount of the cruise fare by that much and do away with that? Then it's not an added thing to even think about, and they don't even have to worry about any passengers going down to customer service and taking those off and not paying them. Why don't they just include them? Well, now years have gone by, and over time we hear so much about gratuities. And a couple of things I wanted to say. It sounds like Royal Caribbean is going to be increasing their gratuities. They're supposed to be going from $16 a day to $17 a day for cabins that are non-suite cabins. So that would be your interiors, your ocean views, and your balconies. And then for the suite cabins, it's going to go from $18 to $19 a day per person. So we've got that information, and so thank you to the Let's Go family member who shared that with me. But as we think about this, I have received information from a couple of you. I know our Let's Go family members, Code 4 for Life, Dawn and Scotty, are on the Emerald Princess. They shared that when they were just recently dining at the Crown Grill as well as Sabatini's on the very cruise they are on right now, that they asked the crew members if they are getting any of that extra gratuity money that Princess just announced. So for a long time we have had the 18% gratuity on beverages. That's not new, but I want to say maybe a month or so ago, Princess added an 18% charge to be charged on your specialty dining when you're on board, and it just goes on your shipboard account like the charge does for the dining. And so to me, I thought about it a lot when they announced that, and I thought, those crew members, indeed, they aren't going to see anymore. And yep, they have asked, as well as some of you who have also asked and been kind enough to let me know that those crew members, it's not like they're getting a raise because Princess decided to charge 18% on specialty dining. So here's what I think, and I want to hear what you think about it. I honestly think that gratuities is just another line item on the income spreadsheet for cruise lines. I don't think that it impacts the pay of their crew members. I think the crew members get a set amount of pay, and that is what they get. And if people give them extra money like cash to them directly when they're on the ship, then that's theirs. But as far as us paying the gratuities and increasing gratuities across the board does not mean that crew members necessarily get paid more because of that. I like to think that crew members get raises in their pay now and again, not only when they take on a new position that involves more responsibility or more work, but I like to think that just over time those wages have increased. But I personally really don't think that they are tied to gratuities at all. I think gratuities is just something that has been really the custom, the historical way of doing it with cruising, and so it has remained thus all this time. So let me know what you think about in the comments. And do be ready when you go on Princess, if you hadn't caught that notice. When you look at that $39 for your dining there at the Crown Grill, there is also an 18% surcharge on that will also be charged to your shipboard account. Now, along with that, let's talk about dining. So dining on Princess, I have seen a couple of people tell me that they are seeing a difference in price for the specialty dining between the old app and the new app. So that made me want to go look in my old app and see what it showed so that I can compare what it shows in the new app. And my old app is no longer working. I cannot even log in there anymore. So I probably should just delete it off my phone. So let me know, those of you that happen to have both, if you're seeing that. But here's something I think is a really important perspective. And I am included in this. I get so busy trying to prepare for a cruise and trying to, cross all my T's and dot all my I's, make sure I've got everything scheduled, make sure everything is lined up. And we start worrying about that dining thing. And it is really paramount right now that our next cruise is going to be on the Sun Princess, February 8th. There is still no dining available for that. Let's Go family member was so kind. She had done the chat thing with the Princess rep, just asking when are those reservations going to show up. That person replied, and thank you to our Let's Go family member who sent me the screenshot of that reply. They said that the dining for the Sun Princess is not configured yet. And so we will get an email when those reservations are available. So I still look today anyway, even though I didn't get the email. But I just wanted to let you know that is something that I've decided to let go. I am going to keep checking every day because there is really some specialty dining that I want to book and try to be able to do for sure, not only to experience myself, but to be able to tell you about. But I think I got a little bit too worried about it. So we're just going to go. I'll keep looking. If I can make a reservation, I will. But do remember, you can walk up to any main dining room and they always have two lines. They have the line for people with a reservation, the line for people without a reservation. Sometimes the line even moves faster for people without a reservation. In the worst case scenario, you're going to have to wait a little bit for a table, but you'll still be seated. They'll still take care of you. And if you've got your extended family there or a group of friends, they'll take care of you. So don't worry, all is not lost if you cannot get the dining reservation for the exact time that you want. Just go, okay? And enjoy your cruise and don't worry about it quite so much. That message is for me as well. Another really important thing to know is Turkey. The country of Turkey has taken away the requirement to have a visa for people who are from North America. Historically, and even when we went on our cruise that included Turkey in 2022, you did not have to have a visa to arrive there on a cruise ship, spend time on a cruise ship, and leave on a cruise ship. If you wanted to fly in, though, and do your sightseeing that way, then you needed to have a visa. You could do it online. I believe it was just over $50 to get that visa, but as of December 31st, they have taken away that requirement. So you might think, well, what does that have to do with anything that we're doing here? So first of all, if you're not aware, Turkey is really, really very, very reliant on tourism. Tourism is their #1 source of income. So the ability to have tourists come to their country is a really big deal. And I believe, just me watching the news and watching what's going on, I think it can even affect their politics. You might remember back in 2016, I remember very clearly, it became so that cruise lines could no longer go there. Our daughter and I she and I were going on a cruise that was going to call in Turkey, and instead we were going to go to Istanbul, and they had to substitute another port in Greece, which was okay, but it wasn't where we thought we were going to go, just because of the political climate there in Turkey. Well, for a while now, cruise lines have been able to call back in Turkey again, and I really think that this announcement really highlights their desire to have more tourists come to their country. And since they are clearly moving that direction, I think it bodes really well that hopefully, at least in the foreseeable future, things will remain so that cruise lines can still continue to have cruise ships go to those ports there in Turkey. The ports that I see the most calls in are in Ephesus. They use the port of Kushadasi, but it's really because so many people want to visit Ephesus there. If you've read your Bible, the Apostle Paul went to Ephesus, and so it's a really big deal. You go on a tour there, they talk to you about that, plus show you all of everything. It's so interesting to see that whole area there and what they've uncovered and are still uncovering so much there with the archaeology. I think it would be really interesting. There are a few cruise lines that will do some cruises starting in Turkey or ending in Turkey, and in the future I would really like to consider that option because there are so many beautiful places to see in that country. And I don't know if this option that Turkey is offering with no longer requiring a visa will make it so that more cruise lines end up doing that, because it will be easier for people to have taking a cruise as a jumping off point or as an ending point for touring more around Turkey. So let me know, is Turkey somewhere that you all want to visit? If you've been, let me know what you thought. We've been to Ephesus, we've been to Istanbul. Our group cruise that's sailing October 11th on the Celebrity Silhouette, that cruise was due to go to Israel and Egypt, but now we get an overnight in Istanbul, which I am very excited about, as well as a day at the port of Kushadasi there for Ephesus. So I'll let you know what it looks like when we're there in the fall. Now, those of you who maybe have a cruise book to Alaska in April, this is a really big deal. Or if you just like to go to Vancouver, okay? So Vancouver, they are really trying to encourage tourism to Vancouver. And so if you use the website, that the name of the website is stayvancouverhotels.com. If you use the promo MasterCard, so go to that website, use the promo MasterCard, you can stay between now and April 30th of 2024. If you choose from the hotels that they have on that website and book through there, when you check in to those hotels for the stays, you are going to get a MasterCard gift card. And it, depending on which hotel you book and how much it costs, that is what is going to determine how much the gift card that you can get. But your gift card can be up to $250. The interesting thing in reading about it is some of the hotels are letting you turn around and use the MasterCard that you receive to pay for your stay. How awesome is that? So if you were going to go anyway, there's a great way to pay for it. If you weren't going to go, but you want to go to Vancouver, this might be a really nice way to get there. Another really important thing to note is that each guest can book a maximum of 3 stays. So you could even go and stay like up to 6 or 7 nights and be able to make, MasterCard gift cards at the different hotels. And if you booked at the more expensive ones, you could have $750 from 3 stays. So I just thought I would let you know about that. I know that the cruise season for Norwegian, they start the earliest, which I believe is around the beginning of the middle of April, and then the others start right at the beginning of May. So just keep that in mind if you're headed to Alaska and you're going to be up that way. Now, here's an article that I really think should be mandatory reading for all cruise line CEOs, for their management teams, and even down to the level of management on cruise ships. It is really a big deal. What the article about, it's in Forbes magazine, they're online, and it is all about what Celebrity is doing with their solo cruisers. But it contains really so much more, and I want to tell you about it because it's really big. So first of all, the name of the article, if you want to look it up, it's Solo Penalty. Cruise line charges single travelers much more than double. They start off talking about, usually when you go to book a cabin on a cruise ship, it's based on double occupancy. So even when you are a solo cruiser, you're often going to pay that rate, double to be able, what 2 people in that cabin would be paying. But interestingly enough, they did their own research, which I really appreciate, because I've noticed that just here and there on Facebook, people have said, oh, that's not true. Nope, even the people at Forbes did their own. And they researched this 8-day Caribbean cruise, Eastern Caribbean, on the Reflection. And for per person for the double occupancy was $1,461, but if someone booked it as a solo traveler, it cost $4,346. So the solo traveler had to pay $1,424 more than two people would pay to be in that cabin. That is huge. That's like 3 times as much when you break it down, 3 times the rate per person if 2 people were in that room. Does that make sense? Then I liked that they checked Princess's website. They checked out a couple of cruises there. Nope, they ended up, it was just double. They checked on NCL. It was just double to go there. And here's what I thought was really interesting. In the course of this article, they quoted that press release that I told you about yesterday that Carnival Corporation made back in October, and I told you about it back in October when they first announced it, that they were not going to be having any last minute deals again. So I got a really big kick out of the fact that they mentioned that here, and here's Princess off, not even honoring what they said they were going to do. It says, today, though, strong cruise bookings mean deals of all kinds are vanishing. Recently, Princess made the unprecedented statement that they would offer no last-minute discounts. Their future sailings were sufficiently booked for them to offer the reassurance that cheaper fares were not waiting for those who delayed booking. Well, we have found out that that's not true, that they are indeed, for sailings that they don't have full, they are dropping those prices and not letting people refare to those lower prices, even though they booked a long time ago at the higher rate. So then they move on and they're talking about how important loyalty is. It says, presumably, Celebrity is charging the extra fare for singles because demand is high and they think they can fill their cabins one way or another, but they risk damaging their brand perception among solo travelers. And I really think they're damaging their brand perception among everybody. We've got that group cruise booked on the Celebrity Silhouette, and I'm going because I want to go to those places. I don't care that it's on Celebrity. I honestly wish it was on Princess, but they don't have an itinerary that matches that. I looked. When it came out that they were not taking us to Israel and Egypt, I really looked an awful lot at what the options are, and this is the best way to go to those places. And I had said that we would go, and we've got people in our Let's Go family that were kind enough to book and come with us, and they're still going to go, so I'm going to go. I'm not going to not go. So anyway, but after that, it's not my intention to really seek out a Celebrity cruise because of how they're treating their solo travelers. That's not cool. And like, if they're doing that to them, what's next with everyone else? That's what I think. But I thought it was really interesting as they went on in the article, they talked about how important brand loyalty is, how people's brand loyalty is also tied to emotion. When people go on a cruise and they really enjoy it, then they want to go back on that cruise line again and again. And it is not just it's not this that they book for those loyalty perks, but they book because of how it makes them feel and the emotion that goes with that. And so what Celebrity is doing is really damaging that emotional connection that they have with the people that sail on them. And that's a really hard thing to get back. And so I think it is so important for everyone who is in management, and this really applies not only in the cruise industry, but like this, I think this could be a good article for, MBA schools and for management programs and people in hospitality and people in everything, to learn that how you treat people generates a response from them. And if you want people to continue to want to sail with you in this instance, you need to treat them well so that they have a good feeling about you. Otherwise, you're going to lose that, and it can often be nearly impossible to get that back. I went ahead and read an awful lot about the emotional things that come with marketing as I thought about this, and it's huge. It's really, really big. So you can offer somebody free laundry, or you can offer them a free specialty dinner, but if they're not emotionally connected to you anymore, it just doesn't matter. All right, done with that. So just wanted to let you know, and I want to hear what you think about all that. Let me know if you look up the article. It's very interesting, and you can read it without having to subscribe to Forbes. I noticed that about that. Alrighty, we're going to have a quick update here about how things were on the Sky Princess. We have a Let's Go family member who would just disembark this last Saturday. They were on for the New Year's Eve cruise, and so I thought that was really helpful. First of all, he did note, and I am seeing this more and more across the board. We saw it both times we were on the Island Princess this year. he noticed that several of the servers in the piazza were there, like working all the time, and often, you know, after they had been there so long, were worn out. And so he asked them, and he said that they said that usually that ship will have approximately 2,000 crew members when they're fully staffed across the ship, and right now they are sailing with 1,300. When we were on the Island Princess, talking to some servers in the dining room, as well as talking about to some of the people that work in the gift shop there, they were saying how as people go home, no one is being hired to replace them, and so they are running leaner and leaner. Now, why are they doing this? I am sure, I am almost positive that it's because of the debt these cruise lines are carrying. They need to make more money, and they need to pay that debt down. So I think they're running everything as lean as they can. That's why all the changes that have happened. And I've really seen I've heard from so many people that a lot of the changes are happening across the industry, with food offerings, with just the number of people servicing cabins. You know, how many cabins the individual room stewards have to service. All of these things are really being impacted by that. The hard thing is like, do we ever go back? Will it ever go back to having really a full ship of crew members, even when they get this debt all paid? Or will they just think, oh, we can get by, it'll be okay, we're doing fine, so that they can earn more money? Tell me what you think, would ya? So anyway, back to the Sky Princess. He said that the food in the buffet was excellent. The food in the main dining room, he thought he gave an A- to. He said sometimes he felt like the food was not cooked quite properly or not quite well done, and they would have to send it back, but that they actually had excellent crew members waiting on them there in the main dining room. Really enjoyed that. He said that the entertainment on the ship was excellent. He said that their 3 favorite performances were rock opera, spotlight bar, and Five Skies. Let's see what else. Oh, and the other fun thing I thought was so cool. So if you ever wonder what they do on ships on New Year's Eve, he said that they played lots of music. He said New Year's Eve in the piazza was incredible. Between levels 5 and 6, he thinks that there were probably like 1,000 people dancing. So many people dancing to live music on the dance floor, in the bar, by the Vines Wine Bar, and by the International Cafe, the 6th floor rail area, you know, on the piazza there. I really like it. You have, you know, you can have the live music down here with the dance floor, but then you have the other levels and people can dance up there too, or watch everybody dancing. It is just so much fun. But he said that they don't have the balloon drop anymore. Now they have a cannon located on deck 7 that shoots out confetti on everyone, and just said it was a really special evening. So glad they went, and he gives the Sky Princess an A for that cruise. So let me know if you are on board of a cruise right now, no matter what cruise line it is. Oh, this reminds me, really quickly, I want to give you an update. We have a Let's Go family member who is on that Royal Caribbean on Serenade of the Seas on that world cruise. She was kind enough to send me an email and let me know that she is thoroughly enjoying the cruise. She said they're having an absolutely wonderful time and couldn't enjoy it more. I'll put some of the, she sent me 2 photos, so we'll share those here. She got to see the fireworks going off in Rio de Janeiro, said it was absolutely beautiful. So that cruise is off to a wonderful start, and I'm really glad that they're having such a nice time. And every once in a while I'm hoping that I'll hear from her and anyone else on that world cruise. But no matter what cruise you're on, we would really like to hear from you and hear how things are going. Now, the topic for this evening for our conversation, well, we're going to talk about several things, but one thing I want to know is if you could invite anyone to dinner, and let's narrow it down, so not anyone in the world. If you could invite anyone in the cruising industry for dinner, who would you invite and what would you ask them? You can ask them more than one thing because you'll have all of dinner time to visit with them. So we're going to talk about that tonight. I've given this some thought, and I'll tell you my answers tonight, and I really look forward to hearing your answers as well. I think that there is so much going on in cruising. A lot of things are changing, and especially as I look at things between 2024, where we've been in 2023, where we are in 2024, and where we're going to be in 2025. Big changes. So I'll see you all tonight, and see you here again tomorrow. I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.